to an episode of Learning with the SEALs, where we discuss environmental topics that empower you to become a part of our mission of bettering the environment. Today we will be discussing a very important process that helps to reduce the amount of waste being collected on our planet, recycling. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with what recycling is, but in simple terms, it's a process that collects and repurposes materials that would have otherwise been sent to the waste stream, thereby transforming them into new products. Let's dive into why recycling is so important for the environment. For starters, recycling is a great way to conserve energy. Using the individual waste reduction model designed by the EPA, you can see just how much energy is saved according to what you are recycling. For example, recycling just 10 plastic water bottles saves enough energy to power a ceiling fan for 11 hours, a laptop for about 27 hours, or a light bulb for over 100 hours. I think it's a great tool to use, so if you want to see more about how your recycling conserves energy, I will put a link to the website in the description below. Another great benefit of recycling is its ability to help counteract climate change. In 2018, the recycling and composting of municipal solid waste saved over 193 million metric tons of carbon dioxide from being released into the atmosphere. To give you a sense of how significant that really is, let's compare that amount to the carbon dioxide emissions from a car. A typical automobile emits about 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide per year. Therefore, it would take nearly 42 million cars to reach that amount that recycling saved. Finally, recycling diverts trash away from landfills. As waste accumulates at these sites, many environmental issues can arise, including the release of greenhouse gases such as methane into the atmosphere, groundwater contamination, and habitat destruction. I think it's fair to consider recycling a very important process, so now let's dive into the do's and the don'ts. Let's start with a quick trivia question. Can you guess which U.S. state has the highest recycling rate? If you guessed Maine, then you are correct. With a recycling rate of 65%, Maine tops the charts. Remember, the items that you can recycle may vary based on your location, so it's always a great idea to go into your town's website and navigate to the recycling information. Here you should find a full list of all the items that they consider recyclable. To give you a sense of what is typically accepted, here's a general list. Clean, broken down cardboard, plastics 1 and 2. Empty water bottles, milk jugs, and aluminum cans, glass bottles, cereal boxes, newspaper, magazines, printer, and construction paper. Sometimes it's easy to fall into wishful recycling and recycle things that don't belong. If an item is dirty or contaminated, this usually means that it must go in the trash. Therefore, any paper towels, napkins, or boxes that contain lingering food waste must be cleaned if possible before they are recycled. Similarly, dirty tissue should be put in the waste. Other objects that may contain harmful substances such as batteries, spray cans, and household chemicals should never be recycled. Those may be more obvious, but there are also more surprising objects that you should never recycle. Shredded paper, brightly colored paper, and wet paper should not be recycled. When it is shredded, paper is hard to identify. Bright dyes and water pose contamination risks. To see how other people my age are prioritizing recycling, let's talk to the environmental club at my high school. Thanks for joining us today. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm the president of the environmental club.
It's awesome to have you, because today in the video we're talking about recycling, and I want to know how your club's been prioritizing that goal in the school.
So we've made these little posters for the recycling bins, and it's just going to help everyone determine whether something goes in the recycling bin versus whether it goes in the trash, because it can get a little confusing sometimes.
Awesome. I think that's a great way to educate the student body.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also trying to reduce our food waste by creating a compost bin for not only our school, but also the city.
Do you have a message for any of the viewers out there that might want to start environmental initiatives in their school but might not know where to start or how to go about it?
Yeah, it could be like a little intimidating at first. Like I surely felt that when I was creating the club with my friends. But as long as you're dedicated and you have some friends to help you and have done your research and have a great teacher that can help like moderate the club, it's going to be easier as it goes on.
That's great advice. I think it's so important to have a good group of people around you to support you when you're doing something like this. So thank you so much, Maya, for being on our channel. I hope all goes well with your club at school.
Thank you so much. This is Mrs. O'Keefe. She is the moderator for the environmental club as well as our AP environmental science teacher.
Hi.
So we were wondering if you had, anything to say about the club or why it's important, how it's affected the school.
Yeah, it's really great to have some younger students that are really outgoing. And for me, I think it's important to have the younger generation and trying to kind of helping me educate and kind of promote environmental awareness. And I think it's a really important topic and important for our earth to kind of start working together.
Involving the community.
Yeah, involving the community.
And another project we have planned is we're going to repurpose old t-shirts by tie-dyeing them and hopefully having our school initiate a dress down so we can use them.
You teach environmental science, so how have you kind of gotten the students involved with any volunteer opportunities or projects that we've done in class?
Yeah, there's always certain opportunities that pop up. Locally, so we can participate in local beach sweeps. There's also opportunities to get out into the environment and monitor certain animals in their nests and things like that, and how we can kind of use that information to help protect any particular species. And we let's see what else
we did the ecological footprint project,
really exactly cool. And kind of assess how we're what things we can do, small little adjustments that we can make to help reduce our individual footprint, and then if everybody kind of contributes and does the little things, it will make an overall larger impact.
And I think because we are kind of like a city by the river, I feel like most of the constituents of the town like to be a little bit more involved in upkeeping the environment, just making sure our city looks good, because hey, without a clean environment, your city is not going to be pretty. It's not going to function as properly as it would if it was more environmentally conscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also too in the summertime, we don't want to be swimming in a river that's
trash.
Kind of has trash and it's contaminated with dangerous pollutants. That might limit our fun in the summertime. And also too, we want to be aware of that so we don't get sicknesses.
And why not pick up a bike and ride to Red Bank instead of using a car when we have this great weather?
Exactly, yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, for being in the video. I know that everyone out there is going to be really inspired by what you've had to say. And I think it's just been great to listen to what you guys have been doing locally.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Let's play a game to test what you've learned from the video. An object will pop up on the screen, and you will have to decide whether it belongs in the trash or in the recycling bin. Let's start. Your first item is an empty Snapple bottle. Choose which bin you would put it in before the time runs out. The Snapple bottle should go in the recycling bin. It is made from recyclable plastic. The dye on the bottle could have been a problem, but the company uses washable ink to ensure that their products can be repurposed. Your second item is a bag of chips. The bag of chips should go in the trash. Other than leftover food that may still be in the bag, chip bags are designed with a mix of plastic, foil, and paper that cannot be separated. Therefore, it must go in the trash. Your third item is a greasy pizza box. Good luck. The pizza box should go in the trash. Unfortunately, if the cardboard of the pizza box has food waste and grease all over it, it should not be recycled. However, if you are able to clean the box or there is an area where it is not dirty, you can dispose of those in the recycling bin. Next up, we have an empty cereal box. The cereal box should go in the recycling. But when you recycle your cereal boxes, make sure that there is no leftover cereal or plastic in the cardboard. Otherwise, it's definitely recyclable. Lastly, we have orange peels. If you selected the trash, then you are correct. Unfortunately, food waste cannot be recycled. It accounts for over 20% of overall municipal solid waste. This is why composting is a great alternative. Stay tuned for a potential video on the topic later in the season. That's all for today, so I hope you all enjoyed this video and were able to learn something. Remember, you are never too young or inexperienced to begin advocating for the environment, because everybody starts somewhere.